Let's use the iceberg metaphor for a moment. What don't you see here? You see the behavior, you see the execution. And I'm sure you have experienced days where you don't feel like performing. There's something not right. You have problem focusing. Why? Our performance are often depending on the changes and how we feel and how we think. Perhaps we expect high performance of our children at the time when their emotions and their feelings are not the best. So this is what we need to be observant of. If your performance is affected based on your feelings, why should we expect our young athletes to be different and perform high level all the time? What are they carrying from the outside of sport to the training and to the game? It's a skill to turn off the world and focus on the one task. Most of us don't even master it. We are all very busy, and right now you may think of something you need to do or get distracted. Time this by 10 if you can imagine what is going through the head of a child or a teenager. Sometimes there are more serious things happening. Maybe something in school that they haven't told you about, or maybe they broke up with their partner. Maybe there's some issues at home. Maybe there's some health issue in the family. They move into a new club, move into a new school. So some events have a bigger impact and some have a smaller impact. And even a very positive event can negatively affect the sport, which, for example, a 12-year-old having a birthday after training or the game. How can they focus on that if they're going to just turn into a teenager? Let's check in with you, how you feel. I have deliberately taken you away from sport for a moment. This is ironic, don't you think? Because here we are in the Winning Summit and I'm talking about other aspects to be more mindful of. Well, balance is very important to prevent burnout. We talked about what our children may feel and think, but what about you? What do you think? Are you anxious? Are you emotional when you watch them? Are you following every single move with intensity, hoping they won't make a mistake? My wife and I went from a normal parents to a sports parents when our son got selected into the state development program. During games, my wife's heartbeat would go up to 160 beats per minute. And she was so anxious and nervous, and she was more nervous than our son before games. So we have to be careful that we have not got higher ambitions than our children. Don't forget, sport is their journey. We are in a time machine. We know the statistics. If we fast forward, 60% will drop out, but we don't know who it is. And we certainly don't want it to be our children to be part of that 60%. I guess we all dream of him going down this narrow tunnel, narrow path leading to success. The path with less than 1% will ever experience, those who will play for money. Alternatively, we enjoy the sporting journey like Artin here. He's still playing at 95. That's not bad. On the scale of motivation I showed you earlier, where do you think he is? Let's finish off with Daniel Elsner, born on the 4th of January at 1979. Outstanding junior player, winning major world junior titles at 18 years of age, like US Open, Australian Open, French Open. For whatever reason, he never progressed past second round in the senior Grand Slam. It makes me think that you cannot control somebody else's future. You can build them up, you can support them, you can inspire them, you can guide them, you can teach them, you can prepare them for a successful life. But you need to allow them to control their own journey. So this brings me to one very important question. What is success in sport for you and your child? If we are lucky, we live a healthy life to an average age of around about 80. Youth sport is 1/6 of that. If your child is lucky, intrinsically motivated, resilient, extremely hardworking, they may be one in about 16,000 playing pro tennis. How long it will last is anyone's guess. At the end of the day, make sure they enjoy a long journey in sport. Just like Leonid here. He passed art in about 2 years and holds the Guinness World Record. He has been playing amateur for half a century. So I ask you this, how do you define success for your child? Well, we come to a close. I hope I have challenged you to be more mindful about the human side of youth sport. I wanted to challenge the conventional thinking here because doing what we've always been doing may drive your child away from this beautiful sport. I wish you and your family a long and joyful journey in sport and life. And remember, perspective is both necessary and sufficient ground for wisdom. I thank you for your time. Please feel free to connect with me. I would love to hear and learn more about your story.